We're going to be discussing the click track. We're going to be discussing something that a lot of young drummers don't know how to make fun. And if you don't know how to make it fun, then chances are you don't want to do it. So we want you to be comfortable with playing with the metronome and getting comfortable with playing with a click. And if you don't play in church every Sunday, or if you don't have access to a good mechanism that plays click track, I can understand that maybe it would be a foreign thing to you, but it's really important to get yourself a metronome app on your phone, or find the nearest metronome with some headphones and get to that. I'm going to show you some ways that I make it interesting and fun to play with a metronome. Okay, this is about playing in the center of the beat versus playing behind the beat, and sort of playing around with those very subtle adjustments that make our feel different. Okay, this is playing in the center of the beat. Okay, so that's a good example of playing in the center of the beat. And I was playing a super simple beat as well, but I really want to demonstrate my being in the direct center versus being behind. So here's playing behind. So playing behind the beat, entirely behind the beat, it's not going to work because it's going to feel like you're dragging. But if we can play consistently behind the beat in just one limb, like our right hand, then we can have a really cool kind of slumping feeling, popularized by the great producer Jay Dilla, who taught us to bring our hi-hats back a little bit behind the beat and let everything else sit in its own right pocket, and then we get a really great feel. This is great for hip-hop, great for R&B, neo-soul, but this is not quite in the center of the beat. Another good way that we can play around with the click is if we treat the click like a percussionist. If we treat the click like its own musician making its own choices, even though it's going to be playing all four beats, we're going to play off of it syncopation-wise. We're going to use that to measure up how we do with certain beats and not treat it like some completely monotonous, metronomic, boring thing, but pretend like we are playing off of it as if we were listening to a percussionist. And the key is to leave space and practice your ideas resonating with the universe. So it's really, really cool when we can use the metronome in different ways. When we displace the metronome off of one, say to the and or to the upbeats, we get this effect. Right, as opposed to this. We do on the opposite side of the beat. Two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or let's put it on another beat. Okay, now we're going to do a quarter note triplet metric modulation against the click. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and we're going to do 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So check this out. See how that works? So we can play around with the triplet against the quarter note, and that really makes playing with the standard old 1, 2, 3, 4 click much more interesting. I want to emphasize that when we play around with the click, we cannot lock with every single quarter note. If you obsess over locking with every single quarter note, when you as a human do miss one, it'll really distract you. And I'm here to coach you on how not to get in your way and how not to be distracted. And one of the ways that I found to not be distracted is to not obsess with one clam, not obsess with 2 clams, don't obsess with 3 clams, don't obsess about your clams. Hey, look, if you're clamming the entire gig, you still can't obsess over it because the music is still happening. And literally, unless somebody removes you from your seat physically, you're going to have to be the one providing the rhythm. And you got to get through it. So we have to train ourselves to be able to get through it. So if you miss a note, don't worry about it. If you miss a beat, get right back on the next 75 beats. Get back on it. Get back on the horse. I want to emphasize also the fact that when you play in the center of the beat, it makes your sound much more fat. If you play off of the beat, then you get 2 conflicting waveforms at the same time, and that doesn't have the same impact as 2 waveforms fitting together. This is in the center of the beat. This is off. But we're trying to be in the center of the beat as much as possible, especially when we record. It's really audible when you're not playing with the click. And if the rest of the music is very metronomic, then it's important as we are live drummers that we get in the center of the beat. we can start to be flexible if there's other elements in the music that allow for us to be loose with the hi-hat or, loose with the snare. But rarely is it ever cool to be loose with the kick. I usually aim to keep my kick always in the center of 1 and 3, and whatever beats my kick is on, I want to be in the center of those beats. Here's something else that I like to practice with the metronome, and this is just quarter notes on all my limbs for a long period of time. Okay, cool. So now that you see there's a bunch of different ways, I'm going to share one more with you. And this way is playing rudiments while the metronome happens and going up and down through the subdivisions at multiple tempos. All right, let's try another tempo. Really good exercise, really good practice routine. Take these rudiments all around the kit at a bunch of different tempos. I just showed you 2. Thank you so much for checking out this lesson. This has been about playing with the click track and getting comfortable with it. This is eCussionist tapping in with NGO Radio Terra for lesson number 9. Improve your time, improve your gigs.